Well, this is not what I thought I'd be making this week's video about, but I suppose it's a good lesson to all of us. So many things have gone wrong with this wardrobe, but I've just been like thinking on my feet, problem solving, la-di-da. But today I finally cracked. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna finish this wardrobe this week. This video is not going to be instructions on how to build an amazing wardrobe. It's more like gonna be on how not to build a wardrobe in a van. Don't worry though, I've got another brilliant idea, and hopefully this one actually works. So eventually there will be a wardrobe here and it will be great. It's just taking a little longer than expected. I'm Ellie Wilder and you're watching Wilder in Motion. So for starters, let me explain to you my original design, which I did talk about in my van layout ideas video. And this was meant to be 2 sections of wardrobe with down the bottom on this one there's going to be hanging, and then up the top drawers, and then where I'm sitting now was going to be the toilet, and then above this was going to be some drawers. And then as you can see, this hole would access from this side, and that would allow me to access into a little nook here that was going to be where my laptop was, and just like a little office nook. So that was the original plan, but when I got my van and applied it to the van, it ended up being too tall. Now it wasn't as if it was physically too tall for the ceiling. The actual problem was where the ceiling tapers down at the side, because it tapers down a long way, and what that meant was that the wardrobe would have to be pushed quite far out, leaving quite a big gap at the base of the wardrobe from the wall. The main part of my wardrobe was going to be this IKEA wardrobe, which I found discarded on the side of the road and I collected quite some time ago, and I cut it down to fit my original measurements. Then once I actually put the side panel in, I realized it was not getting anywhere near close enough to the wall, and what that was doing was impinging on the width of my aisle. I also went out and purchased some baskets from IKEA. These are from the Janaxle collection, and they were going to go inside some custom sliders so that these would become the drawers. Now at this point I had encountered 2 problems. I needed to make the wardrobe shorter and also find a cost-effective solution for the sliders. Originally I was going to buy some dowel from Bunnings, cut it to the length of the drawers, and then glue it along the wardrobe at the side and also along the piece to go in the middle here, and then the drawers would just sit on top and slide in and out like that. But then when I went to Bunnings, the dowel was way more expensive than I had accounted for, and given the number of drawers I had, it was going to be very expensive just on these little bits of dowel. I also couldn't find a size of dowel that was narrow enough to fit the space that I had accounted for, but also strong enough that it would support the weight of whatever I put inside the drawers. To address the slider problem, I knew that IKEA sells frames that these can slide in and out of, which I'd originally rejected because I knew they would add extra width and height, and I'd already cut out my wardrobe that everything was going inside. So this meant I was a bit stuck with my measurements. I also didn't want to have to go back to IKEA, so instead I tried to find another option. I did a bit of shopping around and I found out that Kmart pretty much sells an exact knockoff of this product. Before I committed to any frames, I knew I needed to address the height issue, and I worked out that if I stacked 2 frames on top of each other, I could actually bring down the height of the whole wardrobe by 15 centimeters, which would mean that I would go further down the curb, and that meant that I could push the whole wardrobe back more. So the new plan was to take 8 of these drawers, so 2 of the frames stacked on top of each other on this side, and then 2 of the bigger frames on this side, with 7 of these drawers, leaving this gap here to have my office nook in. So this lower section, which was meant to be closed, I've decided to move up above the fridge, which is over on that side of the wardrobe, and my composting toilet, which is meant to be where I'm sitting right now, I've decided to move across the aisle to underneath this sink kind of kitchen area, and so that means that all my plumbing and wet area things as well as cleaning products I'll all just keep in that one place underneath the sink area. So I went to Kmart and I bought their version of the Janaxle system, which comes with the baskets. But I'm going to take them back because they are not sturdy at all. As you can see by the basket here, it's only got this one piece of metal that's only attached in 2 places, and the entire weight of the basket is on that. And with that, it was back to IKEA anyway. So I went back to IKEA, purchased the appropriate amount of drawers, as well as the frames that I needed. I stacked them together to see if they would fit in my wardrobe, and thankfully they fit in the wardrobe just, and I was able to cut it down to a shorter height as well. And as you can see, I went ahead and assembled it. I cut out my hole. Everything was going great. That is until today, when I went to install the outer wardrobe, which the drawers are going to go inside, and I realized that it's still way too far from the door. Now, I had factored in the curvature, and I'd given myself a 10 centimeter leeway because I knew that it was never going to be flush against the wall. But it is 18 centimeters from the door at the moment, and what that means is it's impinging on my aisle another 8 centimeters. So I have two options here. I could either make the cabinets on the other side, which is going to be my kitchen area, narrower, or I could make this section shorter. So let me tell you what my current plan is for the wardrobe, and hopefully this one actually works out. So I do still like the Genaxle system. They also sell a 6-drawer version. So I'm thinking of doing a 6-drawer one, which is going to come up to about here. And because there's hardly any curvature in this part of the van, I'll definitely be able to get it within 10 centimeters of the door. It will be much less impinging on the space. And then on the upper area, instead of doing a 50 centimeter depth cabinet, I'll do something like a 30 centimeter cupboard that can sit on top so that it will all look flush from the front. So that is the plan, but you know, there was another plan and it changed, and then it changed again, it changed again. But the point is, in the near future, there will be a wardrobe here, and I will let you know how it goes. Don't worry though, it hasn't been a total waste of a week. You might be able to just see over there, my bench seat is about to go in. The solar panels on the electrics are well underway, so there is plenty more videos to come, and hopefully my wardrobe is one of them very, very soon. Thank you so much for coming along this journey with me, and if you want to stay updated, then be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.